Please welcome Guidewire's Chief Executive Officer, Mike Rosenbaum.
Okay, wow. Yeah, you can take a picture of me over here, Priscilla, next to my face. Thank you. Please do that. That would be funny. Okay. Can I just say how great it is to be back, to be actually live in person at a real event with real people in a real place. Thank you. Yeah. Last 2 years have been pretty incredible, pretty forgettable in a lot of ways, kind of memorable in some ways, but pretty forgettable. And I think this is definitely not the end of this thing we've been living through. But for me, and I think for a lot of people I've spoken to so far at the conference, it's just a great positive step in the right direction. And I'm just incredibly grateful for all of you to join us this week, to join us today. And I just wanted to say just how incredible it really is. And with that, I would like to now present to you our safe harbor slide. So we are a publicly traded company, and you can find this on our website, and please read it, and that's enough about that. Okay, but let me really start this presentation by saying thank you. Thank you for coming here in person. Thank you for joining us online as we stream this event for the first time live to maybe thousands, maybe tens of thousands, I don't know, maybe hundreds of thousands or millions of people that are watching online. Thank you for joining us. By the way, we're doing this for the first time in this sort of hybrid mode, so we're learning, we're doing the best we can, and we'd appreciate any feedback about how we do it better, because I intend to keep doing it this way for as long as we need to do it this way. But I mostly wanted to say thank you to all of you for inspiring us, for pushing us, for creating this opportunity for us to work on something that I think is really meaningful. Also for sometimes yelling at us when we screw up and we need to be sort of shaken and directed back in the correct direction. That's motivating and inspiring too. But like I said, these last couple of years have been pretty challenging. And I think the opportunity to work on something meaningful for a community of people, to be able to serve a community in a way that has actual positive impact has been very helpful for me. It's been very helpful for everybody at Guidewire, and I wanted to say thank you. So, yeah, thank you. Okay. And this sort of being our first event in the middle of the pandemic, I have one slide on COVID, and that's it, okay? And I'm not going to say anything political. I'm not going to say anything crazy. I'm not going to get in any trouble, I think. I just want to give you this one thought. I think the thing for me that was so interesting about this is how suddenly it all happened. How just overnight everything changed. It changed how we live. It changed how we worked. It changed how we traveled or didn't travel. It changed how we collaborate and learn. Suddenly everything was different. And when something changes like that, when you get sort of shaken out of your routine, kind of waking up, it causes you to become a little bit existential, actually, which is quite scary for people like me. It started to cause us to say, wait a minute, what the hell am I doing here? Like, what is the purpose of this effort that we are putting in? This work that we are doing, what is the purpose? And even though it is a little bit scary, we spent a lot of time thinking about this. And so, of course, we wrote it down. And I wanted to share it with you, because I think it's pretty simple, and I hope it doesn't surprise anybody. At Guidewire, we strive every day to help power insurance innovation with a platform you can trust to engage, innovate, and grow efficiently. Engage with customers in completely new ways, create new digital channels, new opportunities to market, innovate with new products and new line of businesses, new regions, new states, new rollouts, and grow efficiently, release after release after release, improving your operations steadily, slowly, improving your operations, okay? It's kind of as simple as that. This is us, okay? We also want to have fun, okay? And I should be careful, actually, because this is an event in Las Vegas where if I encourage everybody to have fun, it's a little bit dangerous, okay? So Vegas is one of these places where the bar for having fun is effectively limitless, and the bar for where you get in trouble for having fun is not, okay? So you want to basically just be careful. No trouble this week, okay? But, you know, with respect to having fun, I think that the people that get attracted to come work at Guidewire, and I think that all of you, the people that are attracted to work on technology solutions in this industry, fun for us is a bit sort of like the harder it is, the more fun it is. The more meaningful it is, the more fun it is. And I think that is really true, okay? And it's a big part of why we think this is a sort of worthwhile cause, okay? And it's because insurance, the work that you all do, the work that we do together, has this incredible positive impact on almost everything in the world. And you all should be extremely proud of this. It enables us to buy and drive cars. It enables us to buy and own homes. It enables us to start companies. It even enables me to be the CEO at Guidewire with something called D&O insurance, which is not something before I was the CEO here that I ever knew about. And I actually hope whoever owns that risk, that is the best risk in the whole wide world. Safest. Now I have to knock on wood somewhere. So the work we do has this incredible positive influence on everything in the world. And I think we should all be proud of that. Okay, so now I talked about insurance innovation, talked about meaning and why we're doing it. I want to talk now about what we see out there in the world. What are the things driving that innovation? And these three things, I imagine, probably won't surprise you. I lifted them all from the conversations we have with you each and every day. But I think maybe the positioning of them will, okay? And the first one that I want to talk about is digital transformation, okay? This unending effort to create seamless, beautiful, elegant, convenience-driving digital interfaces and user experience that just rival the best consumer applications on earth. And the way that I would encourage you all to start thinking about this is that digitally driven convenience is really the reflection of your brand, okay? Just as much as we would say, hey, the marketing we do is a reflection of our brand, our culture is a reflection of our brand, our website is a reflection of our brand, but also the darndest, hardest, worst digitally driven consumer experience that we have, the darndest, hardest agent experience we have, that's also a reflection of your brand, okay? And I think that's the bar that we all have to strive to, is making those interactions as seamless as we possibly can. Next area that we see lots of innovation is around, of course, data and analytics. And the way I think about this is that your capacity to leverage data, leverage analytics engines and predictions really starts to define the threshold around which you can hope to compete with all of the other competitors out there in the world. The smartest companies will win, okay? And it's the companies that are thinking about how do we leverage everything at our disposal to ensure that every decision we are making is informed by and improved by and influenced by all the data, all the analytics that we can possibly, sort of bring together to make that experience optimized, that decision can be improved. And I think that really is the threshold for the companies that are going to be able to succeed and take share and the companies that aren't. Okay, third in my little triumvirate of innovative insurance ideas is machine learning and artificial intelligence, and I think the impact that it will have on the industry. Okay, and this is the one where I would say it's probably in the beginning stages of really taking shape relative to the other two. Okay, the way I think about this is that I think we all agree that if you push yourself out a couple of years, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 5 years, certainly 10 years, the machine learning, artificial intelligence-driven engines have the potential to automate significant percentages of the work that happens in all of our organizations. This is not just happening right this moment, but the way to think about this is, are you prepared for this when it does happen? Are you setting yourselves up to be able to instantiate these systems on top of core systems and core business processes so that when this occurs, you are prepared to take advantage of it? And look, before, I was talking to our CMO, Brian Desmond, about this. My view of this is actually pretty positive. Yes, we have the potential to automate systems. Yes, we have the potential to take people that are doing work today on our behalf and for our companies and redirect them. Redirect that effort and energy into more positive things that are going to create more value for our customers, enable this whole system to grow. Okay? Now, you could take a look at these three things and you could say, okay, that's my competitive strategy. That's how I'm going to differentiate my company and take share from company A and move it to company B, take share from C and move it to A. It's a big sort of ruthless competitive world out there that we're all going to compete with around these three vectors and grow our companies relative to the competition. But I also think there's an opportunity for us to look at the whole pie, look at the whole industry, and say, can innovation create growth in the whole industry? And one way to think about that is to look at gaps between economic loss and insured loss, okay? What you see up here is a pretty crazy, scary slide around cyber. It's estimated that there might be $1 trillion of gap between what is lost every year and what is insured every year. Now, a lot of you are probably looking at that and saying, that is an insurance market that I don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. It's just too dynamic, okay? But I think there's also a lot of you who are looking at it and seeing a pretty significant opportunity. And certainly Guidewire plays a very important role in this with our science, data listening, and analytics engine that enables insurance companies to predict and estimate the risks associated with underwriting cyber. And we took a really important step, actually, this quarter with a strategic partnership that we formed with S&P to take that engine that is currently applied to insurance and apply it to financial services and creditworthiness. And I want you to think about that for a second. We are going to now be able to say, through this partnership with S&P, that the cyber risk a company faces, the posture it creates in order to protect itself from cyber attack, has a direct influence on its creditworthiness, has a direct influence on the financial viability of that company. That's how important this is, and I think it's represented there by how quickly this risk is really growing in the world. Next gap I want to talk about is small business. This is on the top of a lot of people's agenda, right? There's a lot of dynamic change going on in this particular segment of insurance. And it's estimated that in the United States, 40% of small businesses have no insurance at all. That's obvious insurance opportunity to create innovative, interesting, dynamic new offerings that can help close that gap, that can help people think about, hey, the risk is I'm protected. I can start that business. It causes the economy to grow. I think it's an incredible, powerful idea, and I think a lot of you are already working on new innovative products, new innovative channels, new ways to sort of take advantage of this opportunity in the small business market. And last but not least, probably the most studied area of protection gap, and probably particularly interesting to think about right now, while world leaders are off in Scotland talking about climate change and mechanisms that we're going to take to combat climate change and sort of reduce emissions. But it's the protection gap between catastrophe-driven loss and what is actually insured. Almost $200 billion every single year. That's an insurance opportunity, closing that gap. Okay, but if you think about climate change and you think about the news that we're all reading in our feeds today, I think we would all expect that over the next couple years, 5 years, couple decades, that loss is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow. As the severity of these events increase, as the frequency of these events increase, that's going to create more economic loss. And I think it's up to us, it's up to all of us, to create innovative products that enable the protection to start to grow right alongside it. And I'll give you this other perspective, which I think might be just as important. I think the insurance industry uniquely gives people like me, actually, a direct and real-time and economic insight into this risk. Because now, I can't tell you how many people I've spoken to that said, I can't buy fire insurance anymore for my home in California. or my premium for my fire insurance has now tripled. And that is a trigger for people to say, and companies to say, wait a minute, this is real right now, okay? And the change in my behavior, the things that I can think about doing to adjust to that, I think that is a very important role that this entire industry plays in helping us figure out how to manage this risk. Okay, so that's all good. That's all very exciting, right? Talked about innovation, talked about opportunities to compete, new initiatives, potential to grow the market, okay? But what's so hard, okay? Why are we not at it? Why are we not at it? Like, why is it not happening so far? Well, it turns out that the systems that you all operate are just incredibly complex. And I am in awe of the complexity of the systems and the programs that you all manage. I was talking to someone the other day about the Connections event this week, and they said, oh, Connections, Guidewire, what is that? I said, well, it's an opportunity for us to talk about the product features, technology, all this cool stuff, get together. But really, what Connections is really all about is an opportunity for a community of people who have this shared experience about how complicated and hard and stressful it really is to modernize and operate and innovate on and with an insurance platform. And this group of people right here in this audience has this shared experience, and once a year, or maybe once every other year because of COVID, gets an opportunity to get together and celebrate those successes with a whole bunch of people that deeply, deeply respect the work that you do and the complexity that you manage, okay? And now, I think the question is, how do we take that complexity and corral it? How do we take that complexity and manage it? And then still enable you to innovate and go fast and improve and be agile and get to market faster. That's the trick, okay? And I think a lot of people look at systems, IT systems, complicated IT systems, and then they just sort of wish them away. And they say, wouldn't it be wonderful if they just weren't that complex? You know, and I think that the thing about insurance is it just is complex. It just is regulated. It just is complicated to keep track of these risks and all the interactions and all the complexity that you live with. We can't wish it away. We have to embrace it, and we have to look at it and say, we can manage it and we can go fast. And I think, actually, that this is the thing that uniquely defines Guidewire in the world. The thing that defines us is this no-compromise core system to enable you to manage claims, manage policy administration, manage underwriting, manage billing, just totally control those systems and surround it with data, platforms, analytics platforms, digital frameworks to enable you to go faster in an applications marketplace that is truly second to none on earth. Okay, this is what defines us, and this is what I hope that you take away from all the things that we're going to talk about this week. We enable you to embrace that complexity and manage that complexity, and at the same time, go faster and faster and faster. And there's probably no more important step that we have taken at our company, besides maybe founding the company in the first place, than transforming Guidewire and those core services into a cloud-based service that's evolving every 6 months, release after release after release until forever. Enabling you to innovate faster, enabling you to go faster, enabling you to manage that complexity more effectively, right? This is really exciting. We're here to talk about Dobson, the 4th release in this cycle. Very great milestone. We're very excited to talk about all the features and functions that are in Dobson. We're super excited. We're going to talk to you about those things. But I think, for me, the thing that is most exciting, the thing I think we are all most proud of is not exactly the features and the functions. It's the transformation of our organization to be tuned to the delivery of Guidewire as a service, so that each and every project, each and every milestone, each and every upgrade, each and every release, we are learning and improving across every function, every organization at Guidewire. And it gives me a lot of confidence to be able to say that that is now instantiated here, and this system will just, that feedback loop, it's just going to keep running and running and improving until forever. Maybe when we get to release Z, it'll be perfect. I don't know. Probably won't be perfect because the world changes and the system will continue to evolve and we'll just keep at it, okay? But this is a better system that we have now instantiated here, and we're very, very excited about the progress that we've made. And I would say the other thing we're very proud of is how we're doing it in conjunction and in partnership with all of you. I hope you're taking a picture of this slide. It was a pain in the neck to make. Look at it, right? And we are doing this, we are bringing this whole community of people along this journey with us, okay? And it is so gratifying to have the opportunity to stand here and represent the work of, the collective energy of this community that this slide represents. I really do think it's phenomenal. And it's great to be able to say that we now have hit this, I don't know if it's a magic number, but 25% of that customer base is now on this cloud journey with us. And I'm not going to rest until we close the gap, right? Get the 75% and get it to 100. That's my job. But I also want to be clear that we recognize that these decisions, that transition, that transformation is going to happen on your schedule. And we are going to be there for you. We are going to work with you. We are going to support you because that decision is complicated, but 25% is pretty exciting to be able to say that we've hit that milestone now. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, switch it up a little bit. I want to talk to you about 3 things that you're going to hear from the team on. 3 things that I think are very strategic, very exciting, and I want you to pay attention when you see these things in the keynote and pay attention when you see the breakout sessions this week around things that I think are worthy for you to walk away from and take back to your organizations. First one's Guidewire Live. Launching Guidewire Live, this new suite of analytics applications designed to make you brilliant in every single moment of your insurance lifecycle. I think it is an incredible vision that we have for how we are going to make it easier for you to harness the potential, take advantage of the possibilities that data and analytics provide across a suite of applications. Next one, Guidewire Go. Great name, by the way. So if you remember, if you're paying close attention and you take notes, what Mike says at Connections events, 2 years ago we launched APD, Advanced Product Designer, an ability to define in a better way insurance products for Policy Center, okay? Guidewire Go is kind of 2 things, okay? First is we have now externalized APD from Policy Center so that you can run it independently as an externalized service. And I have no idea really what that means. So if you're a nerd and you want to know what that means, you need to find somebody else. They'll explain it to you. The part of it that's easy to understand, the part of it that I think is like so impressively obvious that I'm so excited to talk about it is that we are now packaging pre-built lines of business using APD and making them available on the marketplace. So now I think we have 30. We will create more. We'll keep evolving them. So that now when you want to launch a line of business on Guidewire, you can start on the marketplace with Guidewire Go and you can say, oh, here it is. We just download it, install it, and here we are. It makes it possible for you to go faster. Last one, Microbop, a new solution from Guidewire. Again, if you're paying close attention, last release, we announced a Guidewire solution for usage-based insurance. This release, we're announcing a Guidewire solution to support a Microbop line of business. Pretty exciting. We think it's now possible to roll out across a complete suite implementation a new line of business in as fast as 12 weeks. I also think it's interesting, that name, okay? Whoever came up with Microbop as an insurance name deserves to stand up right now and take a bow. I think it's phenomenal. The team came to me with this and they said, we're really excited about this, Mike. It's called Microbop. And I said, what is it? A little TikTok dance? It's like a little Microbop. Thank you for laughing. Great name. Okay, those are the 3 things I really want you to pay attention to, in addition to everything else. Now I want to introduce the rest of this presentation, okay, the rest of this keynote. First, you're going to hear from Diego Devalle to talk about Guidewire Cloud Platform and the advancements that we've made. And then you're going to hear from Amy Mullen about the highlights in the Dobson release. And then you are going to hear from Laura Drabeck, the social media empire that is Laura Drabeck. So if you're not following her on Twitter and Facebook and listening to her podcast, it really is phenomenal what she's doing to sort of communicate information about innovation in the insurance industry. And next, we're going to talk about Guidewire Live, and Julie Getzhoff and Joe Gerritsen are going to show you a demo and talk to you about that. And then you're going to hear from Christina Colby, our Chief Customer Officer, around customer and partner and innovation in our customer base and community. And finally, all the way from Germany, because he couldn't travel because of COVID, Dmitry Remnuk is going to join us via the magic of Zoom or some technology that we use to talk to you about our vision for the future of our digital frameworks and digital platform.